Hello everyone and welcome to the final round of the TTRC Racing Community World Endurance Championship. It's the 11th round of the championship, and even after 10 races there are still plenty of spots in the final standings to play for, and wouldn't you know, it's not a DJ Brohawk stream without some kind of stupid, ridiculous, what are some other words? Technical difficulties. I had everything set up to go on the TTRC channel, and wouldn't you know, I hit go and it doesn't recognize the stream key, doesn't recognize that I'm streaming on it. And I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me, trying to do everything the right way. And so of course what happens doesn't work. So I'm going to do this on the main account. So getting the links for everybody. It's always something, I swear. Here we go. I even had this really cool intro music and everything sorted, and yet here we go. It's always something, I swear. All right, back to being professional. Last round at Daytona. We had some of the best battling we've had all season long. E-Team Hard GT3 driver Shane Duncan took pole position, but after a mistaken strategy, he had to drive his best race of the season to ultimately finish in second place after outdriving his competitors on a harder compound of tire. Down the grid in GT3, Sophia Alexander and Ciro Esposito battled valiantly for much of the race until Duncan's late charge broke up their battle and led to its own battle between Duncan and Alexander, where Duncan proved to be the quicker car on the day. In the GT4 class, it was a mighty performance from Team YBRB's Diaz, who swept pole, fastest lap, and the win in a convincing display of speed. It was a drag race for P2 at the line, as Wareham barely beat Karate out at the line. 3 minutes to equality. I gotta get this intro in. Wouldn't be a DJ stream without technical problems. Previewing this week, Team Loose Moose Racing has already taken the top spot in the team standings, but P2 in the standings is still very much up for grabs, as RA Sky Tempesta sits only 14 points behind DBRRB, and with DBRRB's driver Rui Lopez in split 2 for the finale, it's entirely possible this is RA Sky Tempesta's spot to lose. In the GT3 Championship, it comes down to just 1 point between Luke Taylor and Bjorn Pabst. After 10 races and 16 hours of racing, it comes down to whoever places higher to crown the first GT3 champion. The GT4 class sees 4 drivers, all mathematically capable of walking away as champion. Collard leads the way over Diaz by 5 points, Karate just 2 points further behind, and Delamere 19 points off of the top. All right, and officially, hello everyone, I'm DJ Brohawk bringing you all the live action, and I thought I was going to be joined by my friend and co-commentator Slide Rules 2, aka Wayne, but I wasn't sure if there would be enough room in the lobby. But it does look like there's enough room in the lobby. Maybe I can get Wayne in the party at some point. But alas, here we are. It's always expect the unexpected in a DJ Brohawk stream, that is for sure. Once qualification gets started, we will go around the horn at all the lovely liveries we see. How's everybody doing? I do apologize once again for the technical difficulties and having to stream on main. Always something, isn't it? Always, always, always something. Not really much to talk about. Watkins Glen here. I guess we can go have a peek at what's going on. On the grid. Watkins Glen is actually one of my favorite tracks. It was the site of the very first Apex Hunter Racing team race. There we go. Always something. Had to fix my... Also fix my stream preview sound because I had to switch profiles and everything. Love it. I was telling Wayne before we went on, this is why I need like a technical director and a producer, because about all I'm good for is you just plant me in the chair and start talking. Everything else, you never know what you're going to get from me. Looks like there will be 11 drivers here, not the 14 I was expecting. We did have room for Wayne after all. Good luck to everyone. This is the last round. Last round. I'm excited. 2 hours. 2 hours of Watkins Glen. Gotta love it. We have a driver on hard tires. Somebody did not pick their tires on time. I believe that was E-Team Hard GT4 driver. This is where I wish I had a fourth screen. I have so much stuff on my screens on my PC, just trying to figure out how to pull up my stats, pull up anything interesting. Maybe sneak a peek at my miserable Atlanta Falcons, who are playing the New York Jets right now, for all of you American football fans out there. It looks like Zero Fight will be the first one around the track. We will go on board with them, as is customary for these kinds of races, to get a lap guide, if you will. Wayne, welcome, my friend. You know, Wayne, we have room for you. If you want to join the party, we can make that happen. Didn't know if we'd have room for you or not. And then, of course, things went all haywire and sideways. Remember, I told you, broadcasting, everything works up until it doesn't. And I didn't have enough time to get it sorted. But this was kind of a test run, since they asked me to work this next season anyway, so I will take all these screw-ups so that I can get it sorted for next season. Here we go. On board with Zero Fight for a lap at Watkins Glen. So I believe we break, I think that was the 200 board there. This right here is wide open through this right, left, right here. Might call it the S's. I feel like S's should be a little slower. But then here around the 300 board or so, we're going to be hard on the brakes, down to about 100 and somewhere between 100 and 110, I believe. A little bit of wonky gear changes there for Zero Fight. Makes it through cleanly, though. This is a tough right-hander to get right, because you kind of have to time getting on the power right, or you can run wide and get a penalty. Here, the 200 board is where we're going to start braking. Trail brake really deep into this corner with a late apex. You can kind of get early on the power there. This, roughly the last little marker board on the left here, the 100 board, is where you're going to start braking. You can also trail brake into this corner as it's uphill. This one, I believe, it's 200 board, thereabouts, maybe 150. Looks like about 150 for Zero Fight here. Maybe broke a little late there. Little squirrely. This corner also very easy to get a penalty on. Here's the 100 board. Another strange corner. Got to be careful on the power here as the wall is right near the exit. A little bit of a light brake here at the 100 board. Then for this one, you want to swing out wide as early as you can. And that sign on the left is kind of what I use for a braking point. Just careful on acceleration here. And Zero Fight sets the first lap at 1:44.5. Do I start a party? Yeah, shoot me an invite, Wayne. Just do like you did. We'll just have this awkward moment of where I'm pulling up the party stuff. God only knows what we'll see here. It wouldn't be a DJ stream without questionable professionalism. All right. Now we're back. Hello, Wayne. Welcome. Pedro sets a P2 time of 44.2. Looking at Team DCT's livery. We've seen this one before. Still, I don't see them that often. I like the little half skull there. That's pretty cool. We have Team Dadbod Racing in the AMG. This is Pedro. Everyone knows Nick. Absolute speed demon he is. Shred sets a 52.7. Two teams in the Nissan. We have Midnight ISO from the other Dadbod Racing team. Pretty cool looking red and black livery there. Zero Fight sets a 43.9. Nick sets a 43.2. Unsurprising that Nick would set an absolute smashing time. The DCT Team Nissan livery for incredible, very cool looking livery. Steven in the AMG. And the lonely Porsche driver from E-Team Hard. This is Collard. Or I should say this is Wareham. It's his real name. Collard is his screen name. His teammate Shane Duncan, aka Tank Bro, could not be here today due to a conflict, probably because he was afraid he would mess up his strategy again. Sets a 55.1. Then we have Sophia Alexander, also in the Ferrari. I did not know this until today, but according to the notes I was given, Sophia hails from Trinidad and Tobago, which is really cool. I find that to be pretty awesome. All kinds of diversity and variety in the Gran Turismo community, which is what makes it so cool. Wayne, I saw you join the lobby. Are you ready for 2 hours of Watkins Glen?
Yes.
Yes.
I wasn't sure if it was 2 hours, but yeah, it's fine.
It is now. I'm so annoyed that I had everything set up perfectly, and I am so annoyed that when I hit go and I pulled up the channel, and it's like, oh yeah, we're still waiting for your stream, and I'm like, no. Gotta be kidding me. I don't like doing test streams because it causes weird notifications and whatnot for people, especially when you're using someone, when you're on another channel.
Yeah, I thought you was on another channel, and yeah, I'm still a mod.
Yeah. Good evening, Dino. Welcome, my friend. I'm annoyed because I try to... Zero Fight went off the track there. We talked about going wide there. 55.6 for Steven. Nick has a penalty. The penalty zone not too bad on this track, but I try to do this on the accounts that, you know, are running the show. I feel like that's fair to them, right? And that was the idea. And then, remember I told you when I was getting everything set up, was like, oh yeah, the thing about broadcasting is that you got to get this stuff done earlier. It just doesn't work when you start. Well, guess what? Go figure. So Wayne, I'm going to put you on the spot once you're done texting, since that comes through on the stream. Texting while broadcasting. Very professional.
Well, I have to put the chat up, don't I? So
oh yeah,
I can see what the chat's saying.
44
right,
flat.
Spot.
All right, I'm putting you on the spot. Tell us about Watkins Glen.
It's a racetrack. It's somewhere in the United States. It's been very recently implemented in GT7, and it features quite prominently in the Ford versus Ferrari movie.
Evo improves his lap time with a 51.7. I mean, you're not wrong. I can't really say you're wrong there. That is a very Wayne answer, but I can't say you're wrong.
I have very, very minimal knowledge of this track other than other video games from the past and watching, do NASCAR race here? They do, don't they? Do they?
Yeah, they race on the short course though.
Yeah. So apart from watching a few Indy races and NASCAR races, and I think the World Endurance races or the American Endurance races come in.
Yeah, they do bowling at the Glen, I think it's. Well, actually, no, that's the NASCAR one. Yeah. I think there is one here, but I can't think of what it's called. So it looks like qualifying is over. Not many lap improvements we've seen thus far, although I say that Zero Fight improves to a 43.7. Will be a P2 spot for him. Nick, of course, setting an absolutely blazing 43.2.
Oh, there we go. I've actually got all the screen dumped on now. That's cool. Right, sorry, I'm ready now. I was not ready because it was on
welcome, my
off.
friend. Yeah, go DJ, go. No, this is bad DJ, bad. I shouldn't be on this channel. This is should be on the official TTRC channel, but this is what happens when DJ's left is the one doing all the setup, and by that I mean it's obviously my fault. But alas, always happy to see Watkins. Yes, I knew you would be happy about this one. Nick, how's it going, my friend? Good luck. Good luck in the race. I'm sure you will be just fine. Who are we waiting on? I believe it is this driver right here, Steven. Bringing us home. Across the line with a lap improvement of a 55.2. All right. There will be a brief break while they get all that sorted before the race begins. On the right-hand side is your official starting grid. P1 is Nick, P2 Zero Fight, P3 Midnight ISO, P4 Pedro, P5 Sophia Alexander. Then in the GT4 category, we have Delamere P6, CBD Driver P7, Shred P8, Incredible P9, Collard P10, and Steven P11. I think I actually have all of their real names somewhere in these notes. That, by the way, Evo does an incredible job with this stuff. I just want to give him a shout out real quick. Oh, look, Evo's here. Thanks for checking up on the Brohawk channel on such short notice. Dude, I am sorry that I couldn't get it to work. I thought I had it all sorted on the TTRC channel, and then when I hit go, it just didn't go, and I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. But yes, thank you for
Technology.
the awesome comms notes. I was actually just getting ready to shout you out, even though I didn't know you were in here. These notes are fantastic. I really appreciate the hard work you put into this stream and all with the graphics and whatnot. It's really excellent stuff. So I do appreciate that. I am going to show the... Let's show the standings once again, and I'm actually going to do this for a sneaky reason because I am going to go into the menus and turn Wayne up a little, but none of you will know. Actually, you will know because you can hear it. Never mind. My sneakiness isn't quite as sneaky as I thought. You can hear the menuing in the background.
I'm going to be really sneaky about the thing I'm going to tell you about.
There's the standings so far. You hear ding, ding, ding going in the background for all the audio bouncing. Well, can't be perfect here. There are the standings as they are right now, and you know what? We'll take the team standings as well. Here we go. Not quite as beautiful this one because it's wasn't quite as big, but you can see the team standings. Loose Moose Racing has already solidified themselves as P1, but there is still so much to play for here in this last race of the season. 2 hours. Watkins Glen. Dilly Dilly wanted to join us. Unfortunately, Dilly Dilly is not a part of the race and has to go. What? That is okay. I don't know if you ever saw those commercials, Wayne. The Dilly Dilly. I think those were Bud Light commercials.
No.
Those were very American goofball commercials. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, though we don't get much Bud Light advertising over here in the UK. Not that I see, anyway. And apparently Bud Light are not the favourite beer anymore, so...
Well, that's for a whole separate stream, I think.
That is out of my remit of anything. That's not for any stream as far as I'm concerned. That's a subject I won't go near.
Good call.
I don't like beer.
I don't really either, to be fair. That's, if Bob is still in here, that's probably blasphemous, but
yeah, but Bob will have a go at us for not liking beer.
Beer is one of those things where, like, the first 2 or 3 sips taste pretty good, and then after that, it's the worst thing you ever drank in your life.
Yeah, and it just slowly, progressively... I mean, I think it slowly, progressively gets better the more you can't taste it, the more drunk you get. You know? I just never liked the taste of... But I don't really like the taste of... All I taste is alcohol, so I don't like the taste of alcohol.
Fair enough. All right, here we go. 5 seconds until the final starts. The last race of the TTRC season. Good luck to all the drivers. You're better without beer, but I enjoy it. We will have the usual formation lap. There we go. From an alcoholic, strongly disagree. So we have the fancy graphic that hides who's on what tire.
That's all right. I've got can bring up the...
You can see for yourself.
Yeah.
They are required to use 2 compounds of tires, but it doesn't have to be a specific 2. Them's the rules.
Nick is on mediums, and then Sirify is on mediums also. Then we've got Racing Softs for Midnight, Racing Mediums for Pedro. Sophie Alexander's on the softs. We've got the hards next.
And we have a crash on the formation lap. Hold on, folks. Let's have a look at that. I even got the replay keyboard. What was going on here?
Was that
warming their tires
Charles Leclerc right there?
Oh, we had contact. Oh, look at that in the formation lap.
Oh.
My goodness. Now, I would imagine that CBD driver, and that's Diaz. That is one of the better drivers we've seen recently in the Group 4 class, getting contacted by Shred what a mess. Surely CBD driver, or Diaz, I have to remember that. Everyone bunched up, and it looks like CBD driver is going to get their position back. What a mess. And their tires are already a little worn out from that spin. Hopefully that doesn't mess with their strategy too terribly much, but there must be a little bit of a North American grudge match going on in the formation lap there.
American wars in American track. This is going to be interesting.
To be fair, that was Canadian on American violence there. The normally peace-loving Canadians have something to say.
Sure this is
when I say you never know what you're going to get on a DJ Brohawk stream. This is what I mean. How often do you see a crash on the formation lap? Here we go.
Well,
time to start the race.
Is anything to do with?
Charles, my dad's favorite driver. And we are underway. See if there's any turn one carnage, and then Wayne, you can make your point. And we're all through. Oh, was there some carnage?
Almost.
Nope. Everyone survived. Now we have the Group 4 group. It's going. Let's see if there's any carnage into turn one there. Diaz got a pretty good start. He and Delamere make it through. Everybody makes it through safely, and we are off.
So everybody through the bus stop clean?
Yep. That is a scary thing to go through on cold tires. We'll check the Group 4 class and see if they make it as well. A little bit easier to make it through these things on a Group 4 car, that's for sure.
Yep, everyone's safe and sound.
Yep, everyone's safe and sound. This probably won't come as a surprise to anyone, but Nick has already broken the toe on lap 1 as Alexander gets a little loose in that Group 3 Ferrari. She's a brave soul driving that Group 3 Ferrari, that's for sure.
Oh, it's a dog, that car.
It is.
And the worst thing about it is it shouldn't be.
I'm sure if the actual engineers at Ferrari saw how it handled in this game, they would probably yank their license.
I think so. Enzo Ferrari is literally spinning in his grave. Oh, that was a wall contact there from the Ferrari.
Alexander holding on to it for dear life for the moment. Tires probably not quite with enough heat in them. Nick is gone. Still, the next 4 cars are all kind of bunched up. Could be some good racing to be had here between 2 through 5 in the Group 3 class. Also a nice assortment of cars. Mercedes, a GTR. Pedro backs out wisely and lets Midnight go by.
Max on the racing soft, so there's Pedro's on the medium, so it's not a...
Yep, no sense in fighting that.
Yeah, it's a bit of a no-brainer.
And Midnight ISO is Luke Taylor, who is 1 point behind P1 in the Group 3 standing. So every position matters, especially. And so, to that end, his championship rival, Bjorn Pabst, is not in the race, and so it is entirely possible that this is Taylor's championship to lose as long as he keeps the car on the track and finishes the race. Now we'll see if he can reel in Nick, although his tires only on lap 3. Tire wear must be pretty high because his softs are already starting to show a little bit of wear.
It's those long fast corners.
Uh-oh. Sophia Alexander is now out of the lobby and is going to DNF. That is unfortunate. 6 minutes into the race.
Did she just get Gran Turismo?
Maybe. Never know with this game.
Yeah, it was doing weird things last night. I was trying to watch the KCR versus RTR race. Several kickouts occurred.
Hopefully that's not what happened. This is, well, sad to see her leave the lobby for whatever reason. And for all the struggles of the Group 3 Ferrari, the Group 4 one has none of those, as we have Diaz and Elfage, I might be pronouncing that wrong, CBD driver, and Shred, nose to tail here on lap 4. 3/10 separating the two. The Group 4 Ferrari is lovely to drive. It's a shame the Group 3 one doesn't quite handle the same way.
Yeah, I love the Group 4 Ferrari. It's I don't really much like the Group 3 Ferrari. Haven't had much experience with it. I just know it's dog to drive, so
it has a lot of the braking oversteer mid-engine rear-wheel drive problems that have plagued that car and the Lamborghini. Even with brake balance, you can't really. For me, in the way I drive, as someone who does a lot of like heavy trail braking on turn-in, you have cars like the McLaren and the Porsche who can handle it fine, or all of the front-engine cars that handle it fine, and then you'll have cars like. Could be a penalty, you're right. Look like they went a little wide.
Nick
we'll
does
see.
have a penalty. Nick does have a penalty.
Nick has a penalty.
Half-second penalty. Yeah.
Nick has a half-second penalty. Even on the mediums, has still opened the gap to Taylor behind. This track, the penalties aren't too bad.
I don't know, they can catch you out, especially on that first corner, because you do run the curb quite a lot.
I meant the penalty zone. But yes, it's real easy to get a penalty here. There's so many places where you can. Turn 1 is a really good one, and then right after the penalty zone, that right-hander, I believe that's the heel.
Yes.
Yeah, that one.
It's just gone through the toe.
Yep. You're right here that Nick's going into now. It's so easy to run wide here.
I actually really like this complex of corners. I actually really like. It took me about 3 months to get it right, but I actually like these corners. And this next one coming up, we just turn in, full throttle, boom, give it all the gas.
Yeah, this is a great track. It's not too technical, but the elevation changes are what make this track really difficult to get right, because there's so many corners that have elevation changes that change how you have to approach them versus how you would approach them if they were flat.
Well, they don't want to make them too technical for those NASCAR drivers that are usually going left.
To be fair, they cut out the technical part for the NASCAR drivers.
NASCAR drivers. Bobby, I don't know.
To be fair, those cars have 700 horsepower and weigh 3,500 pounds. I don't think they need any technical bits.
They are exactly what every racing car shouldn't be, but they work, and that's the main thing.
Oh, big, Pedro and Zero Fight almost going side by side through the bus stop there. That was almost scary. That is two brave souls. Zero Fight ended up backing out in the end.
There's a long way to go. I mean, I don't have a race count.
Fortunately, I do. Still an hour and 49 minutes to go, so there's still plenty of time. I mean, this is a long race. It's one of those things where you can definitely lose the race in the beginning, but you can't win it.
No, that's definite for sure. You're 2 hours to go. You're just playing the waiting game for an hour and 50 minutes. Yeah,
pretty much. This is where I, as you've seen many times, like to take a slightly alternate strategy into these races. Because to me, getting embroiled in a battle early on. It just loses you so much time. I would rather take kind of a weird pit strategy into it and kind of guarantee myself some clean track until I get fully warmed up into the race. That allows me to really gain more time than I think I otherwise would have. So for instance, we have Zero Fight and Pedro that are just going back and forth, back and forth. You're losing, even if it's a half second or a second a lap, that stuff adds up when you're fighting for the first 30 minutes of a race. Whereas maybe if you just take a slightly alternative strategy into it, you're not stuck in this battle where, you know, you don't really want to work together and end up causing a bigger headache for yourself later on.
And they're both on the mediums as well, so they're probably going to pit around the same time. I mean, this is what happens when two people are pretty much at the same pace.
Yep.
They're gonna be stuck to each other for a lot of it. But they might want to think of an undercut or definitely going into the pits and clearing the car ahead.
Yep. One of those things where if you're the car behind and you feel like maybe the person in front of you is a little faster, it might be worth just following them around until, like you said, kind of an undercut. I mean, you don't know when they're going to pit.
Nope.
And
nope.
Based on the tire wear, I think Pedro is going to be pitting a little bit earlier. But if you're supposed to pit on lap 15 and you get to lap 15 and the car in front of you also pits, you know, do you think about taking one lap longer just to see if you can overcut?
The overcut is a very hard strategy to pull off.
Yes, you have to be, you kind of, I think, have to get a little lucky because your pace drops off so much with worn tires in this game, and rightfully so. I mean, it would in real life as well.
Yeah, cars don't really work very well without tires. So.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where you kind of have to hope that your opponent's cold tires don't really benefit them as much as your worn ones do. But like you said, it's very hard to pull off. Something to consider, though. I mean, especially if you feel like you're kind of stuck behind them. One of those things.
A small gap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Between Zero Fight and Pedro, so.
Could be seeing that tire difference now, or maybe Zero Fight is kind of warmed up to the track.
Well, I'm just going backwards and forwards between the two and getting a kind of little animation of how much tire wear is being. It's actually quite a lot.
It is now. It's growing too, I think. Yep.
Yeah. That Mercedes definitely does not like those long sweeping corners.
Here's something interesting for you. So P5 is P1 in the Group 4 class. P5 and 6 are in the same car, and yet they have a tire wear difference. Really interesting to see the driving styles. Diaz in P5 able to save his tires a little bit more than Shred in P6.
So you're the man with the notes. Do we know who's using controller, who's using wheel, who's using thought control?
Thought control. I do not have that in my notes, unfortunately. But that is a good observation. Something that I tend to not always remember as a wheel user. But one thing that is interesting between Diaz and Shred is we have our first pit stop of the day. Taylor coming in on the softs. Tire wear much heavier than fuel usage on this.
Oh, his front left was totally gone. That's par for the course for the Nissan.
Yeah.
Nissan making me proud there with killing its tires within 9 laps.
I don't know what the tire multiplier is, but if I had to guess, it's times 5 or 6.
Oh, that would kill a pad user. That would just utterly kill a pad user.
9 laps on the softs is not many. Really, it was probably only 8 because they had the formation lap. So, in any case, for now, Taylor is going to come out in P4, but the medium tires are not looking too good either, as Pedro has now broken the toe, or I'm sorry, Zero Fight has now broken the toe from Pedro.
Yeah, yes, Dino. Well, DR ain't nothing but a letter, mate.
Shout out to Collard, C-rated going up against A-rated drivers. Fair play to him. Not only that, Dino, but he is actually P1 in the Group 4 class. That is Adam Wareham. That's his real life name. E-Team Hard. That is
coming up against. Yep. First Group 4.
Yep.
Group 3 overtake.
Yep. We have lapped traffic coming up for Nick. Collard is actually Tank Bro's teammate, but Tank couldn't be here today. So, Wareham carrying on. If he finishes well, he could take the GT4 championship, although he's going to have to work hard because Diaz is in P2 in the Group 4 championship, and Diaz is leading the Group 4 class right now. Nick makes another overtake. This is why I wish we could have like 40 car lobbies, man. This race would be so fun if there was like 30 cars on the track.
Yeah, I don't understand. I mean, you can go into the single player mode and you can have like 20 something cars on the track. And then you come online. I mean, are we in the next generation console era, or are we going back to PS1 where it's like 5 laps and 4 cars?
It drives
a time
me.
Extension.
Yeah. There will be no slander for those Ridge Racer outrun type games. Daytona USA. Not allowed.
Daytona.
Wayne, we're not even 20 minutes in. We can't start singing yet.
We haven't had enough beer.
I know. Nick just keeps racing on his own, hoping that one day he will meet a challenger. Well, James is not in this race, but James probably would have been a fair challenger for him. Well, maybe not, because the tire wear is real bad, but one can only hope.
Excuse me. I was just warm. It's just warm and fuzzy for me to see my favourite car in the lead.
Well, in capable hands, it's certainly a talented, a strong car. You know, Nissan won...
are you saying I'm not capable hands, DJ? Is that what you're saying?
I said nothing about your hands, sir.
Good.
It did win Manufacturers' Cup yesterday.
Yes.
Or 2 days ago, whatever day. Yeah, yesterday, yep.
Yep.
So, and I think Nick has always been driving that car too, so it certainly helps. Yeah, 10,000 miles on it, yeah.
If Polyphony Digital stopped fiddling around with it, I would use it a lot more than I do. It's one of those unfortunate cars that's had nerf after nerf after nerf. Yeah, it's going to have so many nerfs, so somebody walking would be able to beat it.
Well, this is no statement on your hands, Wayne, but it doesn't look very nerfed in this race.
Nope. But I'm only going by information that we've had through updates and people data mining the game, saying that it's had a BHP drop.
Right.
And it was never really OP to begin with, so I'm not really sure what their thinking was with it, but never mind. Anyway, sorry, DJ.
It's really strong on handling tracks. It's not a good top speed track. I mean, at Daytona, it wasn't, you know, it was good even in like really strong drivers' hands.
The biggest problem with the GTR, as far as I'm concerned, is its tyre wear. I mean, its tyre wear is just horrendous.
Yeah. Hey Dan, welcome my friend. Good to see you.
Mr. Dan.
Hope you're healing well, by the way.
Dan Manuel is wounded. He's a wounded soldier.
Oh, we almost had a collision between two different classes. Midnight manages to get around Collard. Little bit of an almost incident there, but ultimately no harm, no foul, as Shred comes into the pits, but Diaz is going to stay out, and look at how cooked Diaz's tires are, Wayne, in P5.
Ow.
This could be where an undercut could come into play for Shred, because those two were right next to each other for a while. Zero Fight's in the pits, Nick is in the pits, Pedro's in the pits. Shred is going to come out on the hard tires. Interesting strategy for Shred. We'll see if it pays off. Incredible also in the pits.
I genuinely think that sometimes the hard tyre, I mean, especially in a 2-hour race like this, the wear rate will be lower. You'll have grip for longer.
Interesting note, Midnight is now in P1.
What?
Yeah. So using the softs early. Well, you know, Midnight pitted a while ago and was a few laps ago and was using the softs. Now we'll see how this strategy plays out, because Midnight still has to use 2 compounds of tire I believe he started on the softs. Or maybe he didn't.
He could be using... I don't think he... Did he? I don't think he...
I don't remember.
But I mean, he pitted before Nick, so he must have been on the softs.
He was on the softs, yeah, because we talked about how the soft tires only went like 8 laps. Yeah. I don't think Nick took any fuel, so it's actually interesting that maybe the lapped traffic slowed Nick down a lot, whereas Midnight didn't really have that much lap traffic to deal with. Interesting. We will see how this plays out. We still have 97 minutes to go. Still a long way to go in this race. Let's go through the field. Cerofite and Pedro, now a 3-second gap between the two as Cerofite passes Collard. Approaching Incredible. Now we have Diaz, who's finally in the pits. Let's see how this plays out for Shred. Will just be a tire change. Did Shred get the overcut? I hear a Ferrari. Oh, this is going to be close.
Yeah. They're coming.
It's going to be close.
It's going to be super close.
Oh,
Dustin
Shred with the undercut.
Oh, no.
But...
I thought he would have to slow down for Midnight there.
No. That ended up working out for everyone involved. So Shred and Diaz both went on the hard tire. So that actually worked out really, really well for Shred. Almost a 3-second gap. Diaz must have really been struggling there on that last lap on the mediums. Although, I mean, Wayne, you saw it. His left front was completely cooked.
Oh, yeah, he didn't have a front left. He had sparks coming off the rim.
I ever tell you about the time I saw someone driving on their rims on the interstate one night?
No.
This actually happened. It's funny you say that because it's actually happened to me. So I was driving home one night from wherever I was, and there was this white truck. It was like, it had to have been at like midnight because there's nobody on the interstate. And there's this white truck that was kind of in the distance, and there was like this glow coming from under the truck, and I'm probably driving like 70 miles an hour, you know, average interstate speed. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, what is that? And so as I slowly approach, I realize that there's like a shower of sparks coming from out of this truck. And they were just driving, their left front was completely like gone, and they were just driving on their rim.
Front wheel.
Yeah.
It was a front wheel.
It was their left front.
It might be one of the double.
No, this was like this was like a F-150 type truck.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Truck. Yeah.
Yeah. And the left rim was just scraping on the ground, and I'm like, oh my god, what if, you know, the fuel ignites or whatever, you know? That was crazy. It's one of the craziest things I've seen on the road, where somebody was just willingly driving their vehicle, sparks flying out the back, like.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, over here, the only time you really see that is if somebody has a blowout or you're watching police interceptors on the TV.
Well, it's because nobody goes over 15 miles an hour over there, so.
Are you going to British bash? Because...
Yes.
Have at it, son.
Bunch of hill climbs and traffic over there. I've seen Top Gear.
Yes, we drive around on horse trails over here.
Roads made when the first Queen Elizabeth was
well,
queen there.
Dan, I'm sure it is a slow process, Dan, but you know what? You'll be better off for it. Can't wait to see you back in the rig racing with us.
Nick has brought the gap down to a little over 2 seconds, and look at Midnight's tires. They are almost completely cooked already. I don't think this is a winning strategy for Midnight here.
Is he on controller? Because I'm starting to think that Midnight is on controller.
Not sure. Those are some
that
baked
looks like
tires.
Tire wear I get. That looks like tire wear I get. When did he pit in? Lap 8?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what the multiplier is. I just know that Nick's tires look very good, and he's going faster than Midnight is. We will keep an eye on that. I suspect that Nick will eventually reel Midnight in and make the overtake, if not through the pit. I mean, Midnight's gonna have to pit this lap.
So tyre wear rate is at ×5, and fuel consumption rate is at ×2. Mechanical damage is on heavy, so if anybody gets any damage, they're going to have to pit to clear it. Any other settings we need? Nope.
No, I think that's it, at least for the moment.
Yeah. So heavy damage as well. That's
it's brutal.
Yeah.
It is brutal. Fortunately,
Absolutely
damage
brutal.
doesn't take too long. Unlike iRacing, where damage can take forever to fix in the pits. Several minutes.
That's what happens when you get a half-assed game.
To be fair, I mean, if I smash my my nose in, it should take more than 3 seconds to fix.
Hey, listen, it should take a week, and you should be out of the race.
I don't know. Some of these cars have like those little clip-on, clip-off panels.
Did you see that at the 24-hour this
Yes.
year? Like, I think a Ferrari had like a complete and utter rear end just bolted onto it.
Yep.
Nowhere.
Yep.
No, they don't do that at Quick Fit, and I'm pretty sure Quick Fit is lost on you. So that's a drive-in tyre exhaust company over here where you're supposed to drive in and they do the tyres. Sorry, pit stop.
I was going to say pit stop, yes, but Midnight might have crossed over the pit entry line, making a rough situation worse.
Ooh.
We will see in a moment if he will be punished for that. Looks like Cerofight is going to take P2 away, also for the moment. Oh, so painful rolling out of the pits like that.
I'm also intrigued at how they arrived at Dad Bod Racing. It's hilarious. I love
Looks
it.
like no penalty. Either they're not on or he didn't cross over the line enough for Mr. Turismo to slap the hand. Dad Bod Racing, yeah, I have no idea how they came to that. I think it's fantastic. It's a great team name. I appreciate a team name that's not like it's not. I don't want to say it's not serious because that's not necessarily fair to them, but you know what I mean. Like it's not like Apex Hunter Racing, you know.
Oh yeah, we're the most pretentious lot. We are.
Yeah,
that's us.
Serious.
We're the Apex Hunters.
We're the Apex Hunters.
That have never found an Apex in our lives.
No, still searching. That's why we're the Hunters and not the champion trophy, whatever. That's why Apex isn't mounted on our walls, right? So Shred currently leads the Group 4 class, still has 2.5 second advantage over Diaz. Turns out that pit decision for Shred, you know, we talked about it before. Shred came in a lap earlier than Diaz, and it's paid off quite handsomely, and Shred has managed to hold the gap. They're on the same tire, although Diaz's tire wear, I think Shred might be on pad. His tires are only 1 lap older, and yet the tire wear is noticeably worse. Something to look at going forward. We have a battle between...
I've got nicknames up. Is you're talking about the American?
Yes.
Diaz? Yeah, okay, cool. Sorry. Yeah, I can't change the...
I don't know how to change all that.
No.
I'm just saying Diaz because I'm guessing that it says HRA-CBD driver for you. I'm just saying Diaz because that's shorter than saying CBD driver. Speaking of pit stops,
now I know who you're talking of.
Here comes Delamere, whose left front is completely gone. Into the pits, a brief battle with Incredible, but Delamere needed to pit. That is Race Asylum's Evo, who is quite a fast driver in his own right, as we saw at the Daytona race. A little bit of fuel for Evo there as well. Here comes Collard in with the hard tires. See if this is the only time that Collard uses the hard tires. They'll swap onto something softer, or if their plan this entire time is to go on the hards. Rounding out the field is Steven in P10, who's coming into the pits now. The only sane driver in this field who hasn't run their left tire completely onto the rims.
Yeah, that left tires are taking an absolute battering, and it's down to the big right-hander after the bus stop.
Yep.
You can actually physically see the tire indicator going down as they're going around it.
Yeah.
But my understanding, is in real life, cars wear their tyres more on the straights than they do in the corners because there's kind of a little reprieve in the corners for some of the tyres. So
yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works.
I'm playing Formula One. If I'm playing Formula One, my tyres wear a lot quicker on a track like Monza or somewhere like that because of the big long straights putting the tyres under load. I mean, this is lateral load that's killing these tyres. I mean...
Right. Oh, Nick with a penalty. Had a little bit of a cut through the bus stop. It's so easy to do that. And he'll have to serve a half-second penalty, although I think in the grand scheme of things, that will be just a flesh wound. Going through the field to see if there's any close battles going on. The gap to Shred from Diaz has come down about a half second from when we last checked on it. Probably another battle coming up for those two. 10 seconds behind Diaz is incredible. 26 seconds behind is Delamere. Collard is 16 seconds behind there, and Steven is 17 seconds behind Collard here. Zero fight coming up on Steven. See how quickly Zero fight can get this overtake done. This track is not the easiest when it comes to overtakes. Steven is just going to concede. Obviously, that's what they're supposed to do, but... Well, I guess they're supposed to stay on the racing line, but... Fortunately, I have not been in... Fortunately or unfortunately, I have not been in enough of these races to know exactly how you should handle that, but... I think the general rule is stay in the racing line and the faster car has to figure it out.
Yeah. Because, of course, in Formula One, it's completely different. It's the car that's getting the blue flag that has to move.
Interesting.
So,
Go figure they would do it different.
And they get 3 flags. They can't ignore 3 flags. If they ignore 3 flags, they get a stop-go penalty. Or some kind of time penalty infringement.
Yeah.
So, I think it depends on the class, what the flag... I mean, the flag will mean exactly the same thing for all classes. It's just what to do and when to do it is...
It may be different considering Formula One is all the same class of car, too. Because usually, in these multi-class races, the higher class car is so much faster, it can get on the brakes so much later. It's probably better to just... You do your thing, and the higher class car will dive or whatever they're going to do. You just kind of don't fight it.
Well, chat isn't correcting us, so we're right about some things.
They've all checked out. They're all watching American football.
Yeah, Bob loves his American football.
Well, I know Nay does. You know what, Bob? Bob Baguette. That's what I'm calling him now.
Bob Baguette.
Bob Baguette.
Sacre bleu.
Sacre bleu. Oh, man. Don't worry, Wayne. Only 85 more minutes to go.
Listen, I have no life, so I'm here chatting with my mate DJ, watching some really cool racing, sitting there thinking, how do I get into this? Because I want to race.
Well, you can sign up for next season on the TTRC Discord. See? Nice segue into the sponsorship.
I have a real issue with signing up to several thousand Discords.
Wayne, I'm in like 75 Discords. I think you would be okay being in
Discord
like 5.
Is always active.
That's why it's always active. I've muted most of them, for the record.
I've muted our own. So.
Good God, man! What are we gonna do? Muted.
But no, it does make me. What doesn't it make you sit here and think, oh, I like what kids get in Group 3, I wouldn't even mind being in the Group 4,
I like Group 4 more, honestly. As someone who has a lead foot coming out of corners, it's a lot more forgiving in Group 4.
I am neither for or against Group 4 or Group 3. I don't want to get shouted at by Bob for liking Group 4 more than Group 3. So,
we all have our preferences.
I like all racing cars, that's the thing. I mean, I have no preference to give me a car, give me a track, I'll go around it. I don't care what it is.
So
that's the driver in me. Sorry,
we have a battle developing here. Shred and Diaz are now almost within tow range. And Shred's tire wear is significantly worse, and so I'm going to hazard a guess that Shred is on pad. Considering they're both on the hard tires and the gap is that much worse. Go figure, Gran Turismo and all. Can't get the tire wear exactly right. And so it looks like this will be... What do we have here? That's different class traffic. So it looks like the only battle we have on the track for the moment is Shred and Diaz.
James?
Hey James, how's it going? Anyone know how Jack and Simon got on? No idea.
Is that Al Simon? As in Al
yes,
Simon?
As in our Simon. Jack and Simon entered the ERF Suzuka. Yeah. Jack drove 2 stints and Simon drove the middle stint. I have no idea how they did. Stint 3 was going on when I started the stream, and so I have no idea. We're going to go on with Diaz, who is in prime position to take the GT4 championship here, the TTRC WEC, only 5 points behind E-Team Hard Wareham, who is currently in P9. I don't know how the points are spread out based on finishing positions, but I would imagine that P2 is much better than P5.
Oh, Nick Pitt.
Oh, yep, Nick is in the pits. Looks like he's going to go ahead and fuel up some.
Half a tank? You didn't see the tires.
Yeah. His tires were probably pretty warm, but the fuel wear is a lot less, and Shred picked up a penalty, so that's going to concede P1 in the GT4 class to Diaz for the moment. Pedro also in the pits.
I was actually being a really bad commentator and just following the 2 Ferraris because it's actually a really good race between the 2 of them.
Right, that's what I have up now as well, in that it's, everyone's kind of driving around on their own except for these 2. So to make things interesting, we gotta follow the action where there is action. Normally, I think this would be a 14-car lobby, but we've had some people not be able to make it between Sophia Alexander having to drop out, and then Tank not joining and Pabst not joining us. So,
yeah, we'll have to. What we'll do is we'll put a reprimand in the Discord for Tank, and we'll demote him to Formula Walking.
We're going back to Formula E.
No, he's gone beyond Formula E. He's been in Formula. He's Formula Walking now.
Formula Walking.
Yeah, we give him a pair of trainers.
Nice. Yes, Bob, that race was going on earlier today. I don't know if it's over. I don't know when Stint 3 started.
Yeah, I feel kind of bad now. 2 of our boys were in a race and eek. If you're listening, boys, well done. Or commiserations.
I'm sure they did fine. They would only represent AHR with the highest class. It looks like Midnight and Zero Fight are in the pits. Midnight is sticking to that soft tire strategy. See how it plays out. It looks like... Let's go check on these 2 up here and see what's going on. Nick is well and clear, and it looks like Midnight is out 3 seconds ahead of Zero Fight.
Did you notice what the pit pit stop is, the losses?
I think it's about 20 seconds. 21.
So Nick is 6 seconds away from a pit stop in hand. Which is not a bad place to be.
No, no. You tend to be able to relax a little bit once you get to that point.
Yeah, but I wish they'd have told me because I was free. If they had have said come and do a stint, I would have done a stint. I really wasn't taking any notice of any team races going on.
Yeah, they had kind of talked about it amongst themselves, had Jack and Simon. I don't know that they really asked anyone else if they wanted to do it. It was just, they've been talking about it for months too. Nick gets a little loose, but still purple. Searching for his first...
my favorite color.
Searching for his first 43 of the day. This one probably won't be a 43, but he is well capable of that on the medium tire, that's for sure.
He's flying. I mean,
he always is. He's like a machine.
I wish I could make the GTR work as well as that.
You could if you just did it exactly like he does. There's your pro advice from DJ Brock.
Thank you very much. So this is the AHR support line, everybody.
Yeah. Good thing for Simon to be teamed up with Jack, who's knocking on Alien Door. Yep.
I mean, that advice there was one step up from Get Good.
It was at least had a little more substance than Get Good, right?
Yeah. Thanks,
They got P9. We take those.
We'll take a P9. That's top 10.
It is top 10. I'd had a third, only I dropped the car. Yeah, we'll take a top 10. We'll take a top 10.
Good for them. Well done, boys.
Yep. We're all well proud of you here. So it looks like Diaz and Shred, there's starting to be a little bit of a gap forming. But of course, the tire wear discrepancy is extremely noticeable now. Shred doing all they can to keep up. Still within a second.
I'm still trying to figure out. I think Diaz is on a wheel and Shred might be on a pad.
Oh, they have to be. The tire wear is so much worse.
Those tires are just, yeah.
It's so much worse, and there's only one lap difference between the two, and they're on hards.
If he is on a pad, I'm super proud of how clean he's keeping it. It's very difficult sometimes with the pad. So if people say, "Oh, I can tell who's using a pad because they're weaving all over the track," well, there you go. It's easy to be smooth with a pad controller.
Maybe he's using motion controls. I knew there'd be some sort of reaction from you.
Technically, using the stick is a motion control because you're...
Technically, steering wheel is motion control.
Technically, steering wheel is motion control.
Oh, James. Unsubscribe.
I think we should explain that we have an AHR in-joke with the motion controls and wheels, and anytime anybody says they wish he could do better, somebody will come up and say, use motion controls. And somebody will usually swear.
Now we're gonna have to go back to the AHR arena and fight it out like we always do.
Bob, nothing is a double negative. If you say nothing, you have to say something.
Hey, Shred has closed the gap to less than half a second. Maybe Diaz has made a little bit of a mistake. Shred's tires just are not going to hold up, though.
I have been resisting this the whole race, but Shred has shredded his tires. I went there.
Is that Shred's fault?
No, it's Mr. Turismo and his really bad implementation of controller versus tire wear. And no, James, yes, James, I know you can control it, but you can't really because you're in the heat of battle. It's very difficult in a scenario like this to sit there and think maybe I've got to be a bit smoother through this corner. You know?
Bob's calling you unprofessional, Wayne, for pointing out his whatever. That's right. Oh, look, Shred is now right on the back of Diaz. What is happening here? Bob's had enough of your crap, Wayne. You guys may actually have to settle this on the first ever AHR. What should we do about that? You know, for a while when I was part of a Halo team, like the Halo, the shooting game, I suggested that any inter-team squabble should be settled in with a WWE game. Ooh, a mistake
that sounds
from
like
Shred.
a really good idea, but anytime Bob wants to take me on WRC, well, let's go.
I knew, no, you can't go there because that's it's not. That's like saying you would challenge someone to hockey, but you get ice skates and they get Crocs.
I was telling somebody the other day of a story that, speaking of ice hockey, when I was a kid in my wheelchair, I literally like wheeled really fast. There was an ice rink and I just went straight through the door of the ice rink onto the ice, slammed on the brakes of the wheelchair, and the thing just went from one end of the ice rink to the other without stopping. Absolute fun.
Nice. So that mistake by Shred has now pretty much gotten him out of the range of the toe of Diaz, and with his tires looking worse by the lap, gonna be hard to make up that gap, but maybe... I don't think the undercut will work this time because there is clean track in front of both of them.
This is the other thing with the tyre wear in this game. You've got three perfectly decent tyres, but it's that one tyre there that's going to cause you to have to go into the pits and lose time.
Yep.
Now, I'm fully on board that one of the tyres, definitely because there are a lot of right-hand fast turns, that's going to... But if only you could just change one tyre, eh?
Well, in NASCAR, you can change one half of tires. And speaking of battles, we now have one on our hands in the Group 3 class between Pedro and Ciro Fight, although it looks like Pedro is on a softer compounded tire. So this may not be much of a battle. Oh, there may have been a little contact there. It didn't look like contact. Let's see if we can go back and see.
I think it might have been lag contact.
Yeah. Let's see what happens if I get the camera angle right. Ooh, it's tough to say. It kind of looked like contact by the way that...
Well, you know what they say, rubbing is racing.
I don't think they say that in GT3 racing, but that's neither here nor there. The longer Ciro Fight can keep Pedro behind him, the less effective Pedro's tires become. And it looks like there is some lapped traffic coming up. Let's see how that plays.
He has to pit this lap. So.
Maybe one or two more laps. We'll see. P2 in the GT4 class, Incredible, just bails out of the way for his teammate Ciro Fight, and let's see if Pedro makes a move going into the bus stop. He gave himself a little bit of a gap to try and work the slipstream. No, he committed a little early there. Maybe not enough of momentum. Neither the AMG nor the Nissan very good in a straight line. Maybe Pedro trying to set up... Yeah, it could. It could be.
Does edge it just a tiny bit.
So you showed a table at the start showing more than 10 Group 3 drivers. Is there another race? Yes, there are 2 splits, James. We're only broadcasting split 1, but there is a second split. And I think split 2 gets fewer points for the winner and for each place than split 1 does. And they have kind of a promotion relegation thing where the winner of split 2 is allowed to join split 1, and then the bottom car in split 1 has to race in split 2, if my understanding of it's correct. Yeah, Pedro not able to take advantage of those tires, and Seraphite doing a nice job on defense as Diaz now comes into the pits. And it looks like Shred pitted a couple laps ago, going for the undercut strategy once again. And Shred actually filled the tank. An interesting strategy. He filled all the way up. I'm a little surprised to see that, considering that his tire wear is worse. And you probably don't need a full tank on your hard, even on a hard tire stint. So you can see Diaz only put 68 liters in. Shred put in the full. Yeah, Pedro only put in 35. It's an interesting strategy for sure. I mean, Incredible only put in 27 liters into his Sylvia. And here comes Shred. Will Shred be able to make the overtake? Ooh, a little bit of contact. Shred did not handle that very well. Couldn't get around Incredible. Now it's going to be a drag race between the Ferrari and the Sylvia. The Sylvia much lighter on fuel than the Ferrari. The Ferrari not going to be able to make the overtake.
Good evening, Rodrigo.
Hey, Rodrigo, how's it going?
Their team.
Have I changed my racing team? I'm going to say no, but it depends on if you were expecting me to. I guess what do you mean? Which team were you expecting me or us to be on? Collard coming out of the pits now onto the soft tire. So he went with the hard tire in his first stint and is now going on the soft tire, it looks like, for the rest of the race. Midnight back into the pits here. Seraphite now in the provisional P2. And Midnight only putting in 36 liters himself. So we're seeing varying strategies throughout here, which of course I love about these endurance races. Seraphite on the mediums and low fuel, going to have a pretty solid advantage over Midnight.
Midnight's just pitted, just come out. He's taken on about 35 litres as well,
So he lost about 30 seconds to Nick there on that pit stop. Maybe 31. I think he was about 15 seconds behind. I see down there TTRC Racing. Oh, so I am broadcasting the TTRC Racing World Endurance Championship.
Nick spun. Nick
has spun. Oh, he has spun. Look at that.
He spun on the way out of the ankle.
Let's have a look.
I'm calling it the ankle.
The ankle. Let's see what happened here going into this left-hander. His tires are in decent shape. Let's see what happened. Oh, he just got into the grass. Oh, that is tough. That is tough. That little patch of grass there, that'll kill you. It absolutely will kill you. I've crashed there many times. Oh.
I think we could all write our name on that wall somewhere.
Absolutely. That's a Bob moment right there. Yes, it is. That's a Bob's your uncle if I've ever seen it. Anyway, to complete that thought, Rodrigo, good eye on that, by the way, Wayne. I am broadcasting the TTRC Racing Community's World Endurance Championship. Oh, man, Nick had an oops through the bus stop as well. That left front is just...
really struggling.
Yeah.
He's killing him. He's killing him. We should have pitted. I would have pitted after the spin.
Yep. But they asked me to do the broadcast. It wouldn't normally be on the DJ Brohawk account, but we had some technical difficulties. So it's on the DJ Brohawk account for now, but I am still very much with Apex Hunter Racing. Bob puts crying emoji in the chat. Oh, Nick is struggling around that right-hander. That left front is completely cooked.
Yeah. Come on, PD. We need spark animations. Come on.
It's
coming
bugged,
off the
James.
tires.
In these, when you're spectating all the pit stuff, it's all messed up. Still holds a 15-second lead over Zero Fight. I mean, that spin only probably cost him, it cost him about 6 seconds. But then the tire wear and all has lost him a lot more time, so he's probably lost about 10 seconds. You know, if we look at how
he was on his way, to a pit stop in hand.
If we look at Midnight, because Midnight was about 46 seconds behind when he came out of the pits, he's now only 36 seconds behind. That's why in these 2-hour races, every lap matters.
Yeah, people think that they just coast around for an hour and a half and then gun it at the end, which is partly true, but not really, because every lap counts. I mean,
right.
You still have to race the cars. You want to bring it home, so you want to hold it together, but you also got to push, because you never know what's going to happen ahead of you.
Yep.
No idea what's going to happen ahead of you. Like Nick spinning there now has opened the door a little bit for Midnight to come through. Now, I don't think he's going to take him on the...
No.
I don't know.
It's going to be close.
It is. That's very... Oh, he lost a bundle of time. Absolute bundle of time.
And Midnight being on the faster tire with fresher... I say fresher. With fresh soft tires. See if Nick can build see if Midnight can build a gap on Nick here, but of course, as we know, Nick makes the impossible possible when it comes to these cars. So, although Nick is now on the soft tire, so I saw your impossible challenges in Gran Turismo, and one of them you say that the team is really important to you and to keep a clean racing line. That's kind of cool. Some people take it too seriously. Oh man, I appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words there. Yes, my team is very important to me, and I try to represent them, not just when I'm racing with them, but on the channel as a whole.
I think, yeah, it's super important to us. Make sure that we are out there showing clean racing, fair racing. That means pulling over because you punted somebody off the track, so be it.
Yep.
You know.
Yep. Exactly.
No race victory is worth my reputation, and that's my stance.
And yes, James, Race Asylum always has some really cool liveries, but this is like kind of synth wavy, which is totally my jam.
I thought it was kind of like, I thought it was an X-ray at one point. I don't know what I was looking at, but I thought it was like a sort of a, you know, some of those liveries where they have like the mechanics of the car as the wrap. Mm-hmm. So you can see the suspension and see the engine.
Yep.
But I don't know why I saw that. Maybe it was on another car. I saw that.
It's a take on the Sky livery. Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Sky, of course, not a thing in the United States. I don't think. Ooh, Nick about lost it again.
It's called Fox.
Nick is trying his best to get around Midnight and just can't. Midnight is using the large backside of that GTR.
Thank you, James. I'm surprised DJ missed that connection.
Hey, look, I don't know anything about Sky. If it's like Fox, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Oh, it's owned by Rupert Murdoch, so.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, a little bit of contact between Midnight and Nick.
Oh, they're having a race. They're having a race.
They're having a proper NASCAR race on the American track.
Yep.
And yep. I think Midnight recognized that maybe he ran Nick off the track a little and conceded the position there. And now Zero Fight is into pit with zero fuel. Hopefully Zero Fight did not run out of fuel prior to the pit lane. But at least for the moment, we have a proper battle for the lead.
Well, we're trying to arrange, Rodrigo, RTR versus AHR race, so that'll be coming up soon. We race together all the time. We try to get in daily races a lot together as well, just to show numbers.
Mm-hmm. Not that I contribute to those numbers at all.
Everybody paid 70 quid to play this game. and they play this game how they want to play this game. If you're not into dailies, you're not into dailies. Nobody's gonna, you know. I'm half and half myself personally. I like some, I don't like others.
Yeah. But yeah, Rodrigo, we usually race together all the time. We've been doing a bi-weekly little series just among teammates that is almost at an end. We've been doing it almost this whole year, but we don't normally stream it.
But, yeah, maybe we should, the next one. But they've got another season coming up.
The Nürburgring one we should stream just for the absolute... If you want to hear me be a sad human being.
But that'll be a free-for-all, free-choice car race, I think.
In a downpour.
Weather will be on. Bob is now sitting there going, what? What?
What?
Weather will be on for the Nürburgring race, yes.
Oh.
This is an announcement. Doesn't necessarily mean it will rain, it will just be on. Excuse me.
Are we doing 2 hours, or how many laps are we doing?
It will run 2 hours. It'll be. I'm going to set a timer. It's the best way. I'm not going to sit and calculate how many laps we need to do at the Nürburgring to do 2 hours. It's a perfectly decent counter.
I'm not looking forward to that. As someone that can't stand the Nordschleife part of it. You just really haven't popped your Nürburgring cherry. That's the problem. That's because my ADD brain can't sit there long enough to memorize the whole track.
Ironically enough, that's how I feel about WRC. I don't have I'd rather just do it as each stage comes rather than. I mean, there are bits of the stages I know, but
right.
Then I just do it as it comes. And over time, through osmosis, you'll learn the track. Thank you, Bob. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fair. So our battle between Diaz and Shred is going to be on hold, at least for a little while, due to the difference in fuel strategy. Shred may be betting on the fact that he is a faster driver with clean track in front of him. So kind of like an extended overcut where he won't take any fuel for a while, but Diaz will have to take fuel, and maybe he's thinking that he can do a really big overcut. That would be a very interesting strategy. Of course, we'll see how incredible on the soft tires fits into all this. Gold each NURB sector 50 times each, then string together, and boom. Alright, halfway through the race, Wayne is taking a small hiatus, so look, we're going to go through the field and see what's going on, but first we have a pit stop for Pedro. Pedro, part of AMG Roadblock. Currently P3 in the GT3 standings. I don't think the third place is in danger for Pedro, as long as Pedro brings the car around in one piece. Let's see where Pedro comes out. It looks like Pedro will be overtaken. That is actually a GT4 car. That is Collard. So, not a position lost there for Pedro. We do have a 1 second penalty for Delamere here. And that will not be a position loss for Delamere, as that is a Group 3 car. That is Midnight coming through. Going through the field properly now, we have Nick, who has put on a 4.5 second lead on Midnight. Remember, Nick came out of the pits almost at the same time as Midnight was coming around, so Nick truly well locked in here. Midnight and P2 5 seconds behind. Then we have 26 seconds to Zero fight here, and it looks like Midnight is going to be pitting. You can see that left front is truly cooked. 15 seconds behind Zero fight is Pedro. There's only 4 cars in the the Group 3 class in this race. Normally there would be 7, but we had Sophia Alexander drop out mid-race. Really it was only about 5 minutes in when Alexander disconnected, or exactly what happened to her, I'm not sure. And then Bjorn Pabst and Tank Bro could not make the race today. So it's just these 4. P1 in the Group 4 class belongs to CBD driver. That is Diaz from Team YB Roadblock. P2 in the Group 4 class is Shred from Team Flying Fox Racing. Always nice to see North American representation in these races. Then we have Race Asylum's Evo, Louis Delamere in P3 in the Group 4 class, 22 seconds behind Shred. Then we have DCT's Incredible, a little under 4 seconds behind. Then 40 seconds behind we have E-Team Hard's Collard. Hello Carhall, good to see you. And then a little under a minute behind we have Steven in the Mercedes. I need Mercedes to have a newer Group 4 car, by the way. Even though I do like this car, I think it looks cool. We need a new one. In any case, Nick is coming into pit now. Maybe overfueled just a little bit. We'll see if he puts in less fuel this go around. Still 52 minutes to go. Still a lot to be had here. If we look at the lap times between Diaz and Shred, Diaz is consistently putting in lower lap times than Shred, so the strategy for Shred may not pay off in the end. We may have a battle forming here in Group 4. Delamere on the hard tires and Incredible on the soft tires. Incredible on fresh soft tires. Both in Nissans. We will see probably this lap. I imagine that Delamere probably won't put up too much of a fight.
Good evening, Carhall. How you doing, brother? Oh, I came back.
Welcome back. Had no idea. Had no idea.
It's a 2-hour race. I need refreshments.
It's alright, you can just admit that I'm built different. I don't need no stinking break. Just kidding. Be sure to drink your water, everyone. Ooh, Incredible might have run a little wide. That might be a penalty. Incredible a little laggy.
I think both of the Nissans, as you like to call them, are
what do you call them?
Nissan.
I don't know what it is. Don't do this to me again. I feel like you did this to me a few months ago. And we have Nick blazing through in the Group 3 car, passing both Group 4 competitors.
You know I love you, DJ.
No, I know. It's all in good fun. I wonder if there was a little bit of contact there between Incredible and Delamere. Oh, there was almost contact there. We might have some carnage.
A tiny bit.
Yeah, it doesn't help that they're doing the icky shuffle through the S's.
Yeah.
That reference is probably lost on everyone that's not an American, as Zero Fight comes flying through as well. What the heck? Almost a disaster. Oh, there might have been some contact. Oh!
Was that contact or was that lag?
Well, it was enough contact to where Delamere gave the spot back. That may have been lag contact. Let's have another look at it.
Oh, big night.
Yeah, it looks like,
blazing through.
It looks like Delamere got maybe a piece of
lag tact.
Lag tact. Lag tact.
You do now realise that that is now a accepted and very, very technical Gran Turismo word.
Lag tact.
Lag tact.
I think they call that lag punt. I think that's the official. Or what do they call it in iRacing? They call it net code. That was net code.
That actually sounds like a branch of the American military. Yeah, I belong to lag tact.
Lag tact?
Tactical insertion.
Tactical insertion. I mean, lag bolts are a thing. I guess you could somehow tie all this together somehow. Lag tact is a little too close to another word, which I'm not going to talk about on the broadcast, in the interest of keeping my channel family friendly. So unsurprisingly, Incredible on the much softer tire has created a gap on Delamere, and now it looks like that the AMG of Pedro is now working his way through the lap traffic. It's a nice clean move by all involved there. Incredible didn't have to back out at all, I think.
Shouldn't have to. Shouldn't have to. All goes well.
Speaking of shredded tires, Collard has willingly decided to commit a full lap to a left front that is completely gone.
And his
hazards are on.
As well. Yeah.
He recognizes
Do we have a technical?
He recognizes the roughness of the situation.
He may have forgotten to go. I mean, he may have just missed the pit.
Could be. Hard to say at this point. Now Delamere is into the pits. Let's see what's going on around the field otherwise.
I always feel when I play Gran Turismo, and I don't know if the boys on the chat or you DJ ever realise that there are far too many pit stops on Gran Turismo.
You know, I mean, it's all artificially created by the tire and fuel stuff.
Yeah. It's like, I know in a 24-hour race at Le Mans they're going to pit like a low ton times, but you know, it just feels like there is far too many pit stops.
Yeah, I think they pit, what, like once an hour?
Something like that. James will know more. James will tell us how often they pit and thing. But my feeling here is just that on Gran Turismo, when you do these long form races, there just seems to be far too many pit stops.
Yeah, I won't necessarily disagree. I like, you know, a few pit stops because I think it allows for some strategy, whereas if there's none, people are just going to do the same thing.
Oh, yeah. I'm not saying there shouldn't be any. I'm just saying that it seems to be the way the tyres are, the way that the races are set up, it seems that there's just, compared to IRL, it's
well, it's not like you
far
can...
too many.
It's not like you can, you know, turn tire wear up in real life.
That's true. That's true.
Le Mans GT cars will go about an hour on fuel. Yeah. So I think that's how it is in ACC. Double or triple stint tires. Yeah, I know some drivers will sometimes do. I think drivers will do two out, like double, quote unquote, double stints. Well, the only battle on the track we have for the moment, P2 and P3, at least for now, although Midnight's going to be hitting shortly. Oh, I wouldn't call that a brake check, but that Seraphite had to brake a little bit because Seraphite is on the harder tire. Midnight was right on him.
Yeah, I can't imagine now on Gran Turismo ever you double tyre or you double stint the tyres.
Thanks for watching, James. Good to see you, brother. Have a good night.
Good night, James. Thanks, mate.
Defensive line for Zero Fight here. See if Midnight can go around the outside.
We've
on
lost
the
James.
heel.
He's our font of information.
And he does. Nice move around the outside. Oh, they were going back for it again as I hit the replay. Let's go on board.
Side by side through the penultimate corner. That's some driving there, boys. That's some driving.
Yep, they are still very much in a duel here.
They are having what we would say in the UK, a ding dong.
You would bring that up. Pedro in the pits managed to get it all the way down to 2 liters of fuel before pitting. So here's a question for you. Do you know what a ding dong ditch is?
Ding dong ditch? No.
Is that an American only thing? Okay. So, ding dong ditch is when mostly little kids do this. They'll go up and ring someone's doorbell and then run away.
Oh. Yeah, okay. We call that knockdown ginger.
Knockdown
Don't know why.
Ginger?
Yeah, don't know why. Have no idea why.
This is what's so funny about being on a team with people from, you know, the UK, because the same things are called things that are so much different. So, like, we call that ding dong ditch over here, and you call it knockdown ginger. What does that even mean?
I have no freaking idea. Sorry for the swearing, but I have no idea. I don't know. It's just what we used to call it. We used to do it, and I always used to get caught because I'm in a wheelchair. But we used to do it.
Yeah. Knockdown ginger.
Yeah. Ding dong ditch. Ring the doorbell and run.
That's what it is.
It kind of makes more sense than knockdown ginger, to be honest.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like. Nick is putting in a lot of fuel. I think Nick was only using about 30 liters, but he still put in 46. Well, I say that, but Midnight is putting in 59 liters. That's interesting. Now Shred has come in, putting in a smidgen of fuel. Incredible is in. Incredible has the fuel and tire thing figured out. Midnight is... Oh, I see. Midnight went back on the medium tire instead of... I say back on the medium. Midnight is now on the medium tire because he had to use the 2 compounds, and I think he had been using the soft the entire time, so this actually makes some sense. That being said, Nick is also on the medium tire now. Interesting strategy choices. Zero Fight will be pitting in this lap, so for all intents and purposes, Nick is the leader of the Group 3 class. Diaz still in the lead for the Group 4 class. It'll be interesting to see after this pit stop, which probably won't be for a few more laps, where Shred and Diaz stand, because Shred put in a lot of fuel earlier, maybe as an attempt at a really big undercut. Unfortunately for Shred, I think Diaz's laps have just been better as a whole, and so don't know that it'll work out the way that Shred may have hoped. But, Wayne, as we saw earlier with Nick spinning out randomly, you never know, it can happen.
There's still 40 minutes to go, and yeah, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the next 40 minutes. So I was quiet there for a bit because I was doing some research.
Oh. I'm
And
proud of you.
apparently, Ding Dong Ditch was invented in the UK,
Oh, really?
in Cornwall, and it was performed on a holiday in Cornwall called Nickernan Night, which I've never heard of, and is very highly illegal now to do, apparently, according to this.
I'm pretty sure it's always been illegal, but
Yeah,
well,
it's been
these
illegal
days
since
everyone has
1839.
doorbell cameras. You know, before doorbell cameras were a thing.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, we digress. There's a race going on.
Yes, but we are at the point where we should start singing and entertaining the audience. We give them ding dong ditch facts. I had no idea that originated in the UK. But it's interesting that you don't call it that.
No, it's actually called knock knock ginger here. But when I was a kid, and we used to call it knock down ginger. So yeah, I think it's regional. Must be regional.
Hey Mario, welcome. Some great consistent laps from everyone. Nice to see some friends and familiar names. Great comms. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Yeah, the driving here has been good. We've had a couple good battles. Unfortunately, we're down a few drivers, which makes it a little bit harder to have consistent battles around the track, but we have had a fair few good battles here. I am interested to see how this battle between Shred and Diaz plays out. And I think, yep, all right, Diaz is coming through. I don't know if this will be the last pit stop or not. I mean, there's been so many pit stops, it's hard to say how many pit stops truly are left, although with them going on the hard tires, well, we'll see. Shred is just now coming out of the boot.
Oh, good evening, Mario. Nice to see you. Thanks for coming in. I am not convinced those hard tires will go 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, that's got to be, what, 20-some laps?
Yeah.
Well, Diaz... Yeah. Okay, Diaz just stopped putting fuel in the car.
So he thinks he can go... Maybe he knows he can go all the way. Maybe the fuel is telling him,
check it out. Shred just passed the start-finish line. This is going to be close.
Oh, Shred's got it. Yeah.
There we go. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Yep. Wow, unbelievable. All right. Well, Shred's strategy, at least for now, seems to have paid off. Although I will say, I think Shred's got one more pit stop. So if Diaz can make it to the end, then Diaz has done a masterful job of strategy.
Just my total mistrust of Gran Turismo tire wear coming through.
Well, I think they have pitted 2 or 3 times. I don't remember how many times they've pitted. They haven't pitted that many times, but they've at least pitted twice.
Well, according to the screen, Diaz pitted on lap 37 and then again on lap 41, so...
Well, that's bugged and wrong, so there is...
Oh, okay.
See, like mine says he pit on lap 39, so it's like, where's... And then I changed, and then and then I switched from him to Shred, and now it says he pitted on lap 37. Who knows where the truth is?
Now mine is telling me 39 and 35, due to the unique way that Gran Turismo is funded.
So we'll keep an eye on this one. This is definitely a battle that's been, even when they weren't together, this battle has been playing out throughout the entirety of this race.
I think Nick's well away again.
Going to lurk. Cheers for comms, boys. It's an exciting race. Thank you, Bob. Appreciate you, my friend. Yeah, Nick has managed to do what Nick does. See, so like Nick pitted on lap 44, and I can tell because his lap time is way higher than the others, but there's no P symbol there.
You know, maybe if Kaz and PD stopped doing massive events in Barcelona and got back to the office and started doing some work, that we wouldn't have this sort of buggy rubbish.
You know what would be great is if they gave us the same version of the game that they use for world events.
Yeah.
instead of having two separate versions of the game. As
Yeah.
someone who works in software, I can tell you that having different versions of the same thing takes way more time and resources than just having one version of everything.
I always found, I found watching those World Series races, I found that cars that I know would be absolutely useless. And I know, let's get this out of the way, they are the top drivers in the world and would probably make a baby's buggy go quickly around the track. However, there are definitely cars in those races that would never have kept up with some of the other cars during daily races and stuff. So Nick's got a penalty.
Nick has a penalty. He's got two penalties, actually. He got back-to-back half-second ones.
Oh, that's just crushed. At least here, though, it's not like where's that one that has the straight with the penalty line on it, and it's just, that's it, game over.
The Nordschleife.
Oh yeah,
that one's brutal. Laguna Seca's, I think, was pretty brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's on the start-finish straight, isn't it? Not?
It is, but still, like a 1 second penalty was like a 3 second time loss. I mean, they're all bad.
Well, yeah, that's true. I mean, at least they try to implement some kind of punishment in this game. You know, other games where they don't even bother.
Or the penalties are like ridiculously harsh, like in ACC. ACC, you get 3 track limits, and then I think you get a drive-through.
I think the drive-through in this game would be like, just give everybody a couple of months of experience in a drive-through on Gran Turismo, and I think the races would clean themselves up a little bit.
I would love a drive-through penalty on Gran Turismo.
Yeah.
If you, I mean, in that race yesterday, the Manufacturers' Cup one, when the Lamborghini got smashed off the track after all their pit stops, dude got a 1 second penalty. If you did that in a real-life race, you're getting a drive-through, because it happened in the 12 hours of Bathurst when Mauro Engel went for a dive on, I forget who he went for a dive on, but he knocked him off the track.
Wow.
He got a drive-through for that, and he didn't even damage the other guy's car.
At the risk of sounding pedantic, Bob, in real life, if that had happened, they'd all be in bits on the side of the track.
Yeah, that's true. He hit him pretty hard.
That's the difference. That's the biggest penalty you can get, isn't it? Slamming into somebody and watching your air filter and wheel bounce down the road. I mean, I don't see why GT doesn't have that either, to be quite honest with you. Just you hit something and that's it, game over. No more retries.
Yeah, I don't know how iRacing, because, I think the whole thing with Gran Turismo, the reason why cars don't explode when they hit things as Collard goes into the pits, was that the manufacturers didn't want their cars all beat up looking.
Yep.
But then why does iRacing get to blow the cars up?
Well, at the risk of not swearing here, that's because it's all BS. All of that, the cars, the manufacturers don't want. There was 2 companies that I know of for sure that are very like that. The first one is the obvious one, Ferrari. Do not like seeing their cars in bits. Right? Even in real life, if you do anything to the car, you instantly void your warranty. So they don't like any of that stuff, and I'm not entirely sure if Porsche are the same, but I might be wrong. But then Porsche have been in Need for Speed forever, and they get absolutely wrecked. So
yeah, I'm not sure. I feel like Mercedes is one of those companies.
But I mean, for a game that proclaims to be the real driving simulator, let's have let's see a wheel bouncing down the road, and
They've been smashing Indy cars and F1 cars to bits for years. Right. Nobody spends more money on vehicles than those two particular disciplines. So
can you imagine? Can you imagine the cost of smashing up a Formula One car?
no. Oh, Nick might have gone a little wide there.
Yeah, I think he did.
He's just showing off now. See how much penalty he can get.
Alien penalty level.
Alien penalty. That being said, his tires are a little worn out, and if you're kind of in the zone, Delamere into the pits on the hards. If you're in the zone and you just kind of expect the car to do something, and it's, I mean, you got to think Nick is good enough to where he's probably going at about the limit every lap, and so if your brain is used to the limit being one thing and you exceed that by a tiny bit, it's probably a lot easier for someone like him to get a penalty, because he's much better at exploring the limits than someone like me, who probably is like, I don't know, 10% under the limit, if that made any sense at all.
You always put yourself down. You're a lot quicker than that.
Well, I was just using that as an example, like, you know, someone like me who maybe doesn't use the whole track the way that I should, versus someone like Nick who probably uses more of the track in the proper way.
I've raced against you, and I don't think you're giving it a half-hearted. You're giving it a half-hearted attempt. You know? But I see your point.
Ah, well, you're too kind, my friend.
Well, I can be unkind if you want.
Do better, DJ.
Get good.
Yeah, get good. Oh, let's go through the field. 26 minutes to go. Of course, Nick is in P1. Nick is probably going to have to pit. His next one might be his last one. Zero Fight is in P2 for the moment, but he's going to have to pit. In fact, he's coming into the pits right now. P3 is Midnight. Midnight probably has one pit stop left. P4 is Pedro. Pedro, I think, probably has at least one pit stop left. That is all the GT3 cars we have. P1 in the Group 4 class is Shred, 4.5 seconds ahead of Diaz. I don't know, Wayne. I think Diaz is going to try and go to the end, because I think we looked at his car, what, 30 minutes ago? I don't know about the fuel situation, but his tires look okay. We'll see how that plays out. P3 in the Group 4 class is Incredible. Incredible probably has one pit stop left because he's on the soft tire. P4 is Delamere. He also probably has one pit stop left because he's on the soft tire. P5 is Collard, who just served a penalty. Probably only one pit stop left for him as well. Collard now driving off the track completely for a moment, I guess to get out of the way of Nick. P6 in the Group 4 class is Steven in the AMG. Yep, and so Zero Fight is now 21 seconds behind Midnight. Zero Fight probably has one more pit stop to go. He went back on the soft tires, and those are lasting about 7 laps. 7 times 145. 7 times 100 is about 700. I know I'm great at math. 700 is about, what, 11.5 minutes? Yeah, so he's got one more pit stop after this one. I don't know how long the medium tires will last, but I suspect that Midnight's going to try and make them last to the end after he pits this one more time. Will be interesting to see how that plays out.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh, so professional. You're just giving me the best opinion of your life, and no one heard it.
No one tuned in to hear my voice, DJ.
Oh, come on. we are a what's a good, we are
Foil?
No, dynamic duo. There we go. We are the dynamic comms duo.
I don't mind. I don't mind being your Batman to your Robin.
feel like you said that backwards, but whatever.
I don't mind being Batman to your Robin. There you go.
Anyway, I have no idea if that's correct or not, but it doesn't matter. I think you're calling yourself Batman, but whatever. You did say something about Batman bathrobe.
I am genuinely sitting here in a Batman bathrobe because I'm 10.
You know what? Being young at heart is A-okay. All right, Nick is in for presumably his final pit stop. His left front is cooked. Midnight's left front is cooked. And so I think in the next 10 minutes, is he doing another lap? Okay.
I don't think he has much of a choice.
Midnight is doing another lap with a left front that has completely gone 4 seconds off his best lap. I guess he just wanted to be in the lead one last time.
I think you got to risk it for a biscuit, ain't ya?
Well, surely he's not going to finish the race.
No. And if he does finish the race, then that is a save video and share online for incredible drive.
Well, he doesn't have enough fuel to finish the race.
No.
I don't know. I mean, maybe he's trying to get to where he can get on the softs for the final stint, but he's already lost a second to Nick. We're like a bus stop and 2 corners into this thing.
Maybe he's going so he can put the softs on with minimal fuel.
Yeah, but he's still got to go about 5 minutes. I mean, the concern here is that he's going to bleed off so much time, he's going to lose P2 to Cerofight, who's on the soft tire and on his own strategy, but Cerofight still has to pit one more time.
Yeah, and it's going to be soon as well because fuel is low.
Yep. Well, it's an interesting development, nonetheless.
It is.
Is he pitting?
I have not.
Okay, he's pitting this lap. He must have. He calculated it differently than Nick did. Nick seems to think that he can get 1 extra lap out of the mediums, and maybe he can. I mean, Nick had such a big lead, he could probably stand to lose some time at the end. So surely this will be Midnight's last pit stop. Go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say he's surely getting a marker on the refuel indicator in the pit stops to say that you know you need this amount of fuel. So, because it's so close to the end now.
Yeah, I don't know how this game handles that with the timed races. I don't remember.
It does actually come up if it's so close to the end of the thing. You do get the little diamond come up on the fuel gauge. So. Maybe that's something we need to test out.
Yeah. So, personally, I think the battle for P2 is on. Because Cerofight has a pit stop with no fuel added between he and Midnight. And he's on the softs, and Midnight is on the mediums. So, I think there's a race that will be had. I think Nick is gone, but P2 might be up for grabs here. Just under 20 minutes to go.
22 seconds.
Here we go. So Shred and P1 of the Group 4 class, a little over 2 seconds ahead of Diaz. Looking at their tires now, I mean, Shred is going to have to pit one more time.
Yeah, definitely.
Diaz
played it perfectly, I think.
I don't know. I think Diaz may have to pit as well. It seems to me Diaz is either going to run his tires all the way out I think he has the fuel to do it. But that tire, I mean, his hard tires are halfway, and he pitted it around, let's see, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 laps ago. 9 times 2 is 18. So it would have been around the 36-minute mark. And there's 18 minutes to go. Yeah, I think he's going to try and take it to the end, actually. So, actually, I think you're right. He played it perfectly. Shred, on the other hand, has not played it perfectly and is going to have to pit one more time. But, again, I think we have something to say about that for pad tire wear more than anything.
Yeah, I mean, if he's not using a pad, I'll be very surprised. I just recognize the tire there.
Yeah, I mean, the discrepancy has been that way the entire race.
Yeah.
Usually, you know, and there have been no major spins or accidents by him.
No, and in my experience with the controller is that over time you would expect you to get more comfortable with the track, be a bit smoother, and then the tire wear would come down a bit. But with the controller, it just doesn't work that way.
Yep.
This is the tire wear. This is when you'll pit. No discussion. Which, as a pad player, and I will say this live on air, as a pad player, I feel hard done by. And if anyone mentions motion controls, I will motion them to leave in a very...
So, as expected, the gap between Zero Fight and Midnight has increased a little bit. The gap between Shred and Diaz has come down. Unfortunately, I just don't think... This will really come down to whether or not Diaz has to pit again, I think. Because I think Shred has been faster on fresh tires. But when the tires start to wear out, naturally, because Shred's tire wear is worse, Diaz tends to make the gap up.
If I was Shred, I would go in now. There's no point in pushing the car in this with the tires it's on now.
Yep.
You know, sometimes you just got to sacrifice half a tire to, you know, get back onto the good runs. You know, there might even be an argument you should have pitted about 2 or 3 laps ago.
Yeah.
Just to,
I mean, if you
cover off.
If you know you're going to have to pit again, you might as well do it a little sooner.
I only say that because it's so close to the end of the race anyways, you know.
Right.
So
why have fresh tires at the end of the race? Not going to do you any good. I mean, Diaz has gotten the gap down to under a second now. Yeah. I mean, Shred is just hemorrhaging time.
If Shred had pitted in a couple of laps ago, the gap would have still come down, and clearly Diaz would have overtaken him in the pits, but we still don't know whether he's got to pit again.
Right. And the longer you have these worn tires out there, the less time you're going to have to try and make a push at the end in case Diaz's tires get super worn out. I think we will have an interesting battle for P2 at the end. Zero Fight's going to pit. Yeah, I think, yeah, he might. Well, he's got the fuel situation. He might have to pit now. Yeah, I think he's going to pit this lap.
He has a choice.
We'll see if he can get around Steven easily here. I think Steven actually let off the throttle to let him by, and I don't think Zero Fight was actually expecting that. That could have actually been bad. It reminds me of when we were racing the other day, and Dino was trying to get out of my way, and I was trying to use him as a slipstream, and he hit the brakes, and it scared me so much I nearly wrecked. He didn't do anything wrong. It was just one of those things where it's like I was thinking he was gonna do one thing, and he ended up doing, you know, what he felt was right. Nobody was wrong. It happens. Delamere into the pits for the final time. A little under 14 laps to go. Incredible just came out of the pits as well. We could have a fight on for the podium for the Group 4 class. 6 seconds separate Incredible and Delamere, but Delamere is on the soft tire. And Wayne, here comes Zero Fight as predicted this lap. 1 liter of fuel left, his final pit stop. Fuel is so slow.
He's going for the racing softs as well, so...
Yep. I heard a Ferrari, but Midnight's not in a Ferrari.
Yeah, they've got the fuel rate set to 3 liters.
Yep. Alright, here we go. Zero Fight coming out of the pits now. So Midnight's gonna have... what, 10 seconds? 10 seconds and probably about, what, 5 or 6 laps? It's a little under 2 minutes a lap for them, so I'm going to say 7 laps. We have about 7 laps left.
I think Midnight can go to the end.
Yeah, he definitely can. It's going to be a matter of can he be 7 seconds faster than Zero Fight, who's on the softs? Or, I'm sorry, 11 seconds faster. Usually the mediums are about 1 second a lap slower, historically. So, we'll have to keep an eye on this one. We might have a fight on our hands.
I'll tell you, you keep an eye on that one, and I will keep an eye on Shred and Diaz, because we're still not sure. I think Diaz does have to come in again. Unless he runs those tyres all the way down.
Yeah. And Shred has gone onto the soft tire.
Yep.
So, you know, with about 6-ish laps to go, we'll see. It could be, and I haven't been exactly keeping up with all the tire changes, it could be that Diaz is going to try and do 1 lap on some other tire. No, I think they both use the mediums, if I recall right. Because low 56s and low 55s. Low 55s are pretty average hard tire pace for him. But we'll see. I mean, we'll see. This is what makes this stuff interesting, because it's like bad grip on slow tires. He's going to be crawling around the track compared to Shred.
Yeah.
But Shred's tires are going to be shredded, to use your joke, pretty fast. And so, we'll see.
Stole my lines. Stole my lines. Just went right in there.
Okay.
No lube.
We do have a battle though for the podium in the Group 4 class. So we have Delamere and Incredible and a wayward Nick who's going to presumably zoom past one or both of them. Oh, there was contact!
Ooh, there was a big lag. As far as I saw, there was a big lag.
Let's go back and have a look at that. Nick did some kind of weird... Nick did some kind of weird dive on Incredible here. Nick was approaching really fast. I mean, Incredible took the racing line and Nick just ran into him. Ooh, that's tough. That is... Nick put on the hazards as an apology, and there was a penalty for Incredible as well, like you said. Oh, that's...
Well, that seemed to work out for the teammates.
I know. I was gonna say it looks worse because they were teammates. I have driven with and around Nick enough to know that he would never do that on purpose, but man, that's gotta feel bad if you're Incredible. The stewards may certainly want to have a look at that one once the race is over. Even though I think that eventually Delamere would have made his way around incredible just from the tire advantage. It still sucks that it had to come by way of that, you know what I mean? Anyway, an update to the Diaz and Shred gap. It is down to 19.5 seconds, but we do have 5 laps to go. So time is running out for Shred to charge forward.
If Diaz is going to pit, he needs to do it now. Because as it stands, Shred will overtake him.
Well, Shred was 4 seconds faster last lap, so we might actually have something going on here. And that's the thing. If he pits now, he's going to end up behind Shred, even if he puts in no fuel, because it's about 21-second time loss.
Yep.
Oh, man.
The tension rises.
The tension rises. We might get some action. That said, Shred's tires are going to be cooked before too long because pad tire wear. He has to drive clean, though. If he gets a penalty or anything, that could ruin his chances as Pedro comes in for the final time.
It's either that or he's going to try and muscle it out with a rim and 3 tires.
All right, so Shred did a 52.9 that lap, and Diaz did a 57.2. Over 4 seconds difference. That being said, Shred only probably has 1 or 2 more laps where he's going to have that level of pace difference. His pace is going to start dropping off real soon. Looks like Nick has 1 more pit stop in him.
Yeah, he's going to whack the softs on. Splash and dash.
Yeah. Well, okay, he only put in 19 liters.
Yeah, they've got...
Midnight is closer to Nick than I would have thought. I didn't realize Nick had 1 more pit stop to go. Surely Nick has put on the soft tires, and he has. So I think P1 is safe. Yeah, and Midnight's tires are not looking too good.
Yeah, he had that hold lap in hand. That's why he did it.
Now, Zero Fight is about 1.5 seconds faster per lap for now than Midnight, so we may have a battle brewing for P2 in the Group 3 class as well. All right, the gap to Diaz and Shred is now under 13 seconds. 3 laps to go. If he stays 4 seconds a lap faster, the last lap could be crazy. I don't think it's going to happen, though, because soft tires fall off so fast.
He's fueled as well. He's already flashing.
Yeah, but Group 4 is like, they sip fuel comparatively. yeah, exactly like that. So we will keep an eye on that.
I mean, is Diaz going to win the championship either way? Is that my understanding? I don't know.
Probably.
So he
because
can afford to just...
Yeah, I mean, unless his PS5 shut off right now, you know, because P1 in the Group 4 championship is currently in P9 overall, which is...
Have you ever heard of something called the Murray Walker curse?
Is that commentator's curse?
Yeah.
Oh, Midnight's only 4 seconds ahead. Although Zero Fight's tires are not looking too good, and he probably has 3 laps left.
Nick got a penalty. Hard turn.
At this rate, we're going to have to start calling him Nick the penalty.
Yeah, Nick the pen.
Nick the pen. Oh, the gap to Midnight is only 3 seconds now. Midnight is struggling on those mediums. So far, the softs have held together, and now Zero Fight can see Midnight in the distance. But can Zero Fight make the softs last 3 more laps, or I guess 2.5 more laps at this point?
Well, Diaz tyres are... They're not going to 3 minutes.
Yeah, but Shred's tires aren't looking too good either. Although
No,
Shred was still 4 seconds faster that lap.
Yeah, it's better to be on rubbish softs than it is to be on rubbish hards.
Yeah, you had to think about that for a second, didn't you?
I put my swimming teacher's head on, don't I?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and there's some lap traffic in front of Midnight. I love at the end of these long races where suddenly, like, you've been driving around by yourself for 2 hours, and then suddenly at the end, a rival is, like, right behind you. There was some smoke. There might have been some contact there between Midnight and whoever that was.
Yeah, I think I switched to Midnight's car just to see tapped the Sylvia.
Looks like no harm, no foul, though, for the most part. Now Zero Fight is approaching his teammate. I wonder if he's yelling at him to get out of the way. And he does get out of the way. Nice move there. Incredible, not in a positional fight of his own. Yields to his teammate, and now Zero Fight is in the tow. Zero Fight's got 2 more laps to go on his softs. His left front is going to be completely cooked. Midnight's left front is also similarly in a bad position. Like you said, better to be on bad soft tires than mediums, you would think, at the very least.
Well, he's still got 3 good soft tires.
True. Midnight's about to have to defend for his life.
I mean, you're going to have problems going around 2 of the most important corners on the track, but hey, 3 minutes to go, 1 minute to go.
There's 2 laps left. Oh, Midnight might have run a little wide. That might be a penalty. It was close. Zero Fight is doing his best look at the radar impression.
Oh, that might be a penalty for Midnight.
Oh, Zero Fight looked down the inside. And there's lap traffic. Yep, Midnight's going to take a defensive line. Zero Fight looks for an even more inside line, but can't take it. He looks for the cutback. Oh, there might have been contact there. There might have been contact there. It looked like there was contact.
Well, they're both racing on the rims now anyway. Let's have a look at Pedro and Diaz and Shred.
We're going to check out
the gaps down. Oh, Shred got a penalty. Oh, unlucky man. He was only 1.8 behind him. Shred was only 1.8 behind Diaz.
Ooh. Tough to see if there was contact there between Zero Fight and... Oh, and it's the final lap.
It's the final lap. That's a shame.
That is a shame.
Oh, no. I think that penalty there robbed us of a real decent race between the 2 fezzes.
Yeah, but them's the breaks, as they say.
Yeah,
Still a heck of a try by Shred there.
yeah, absolutely.
Almost.
Amazing drive by both.
Yeah, absolutely. So the winner of the Group 4 class is Diaz. Then we have Shred in P2. Looks like it'll be Delamere in P3. Incredible P4. Collar P5. Steve in P6.
And Nick crosses the line in first. Well done, Nick.
Yep, congratulations to Nick as well. And it looks like Zero Fight will be P2, although the stewards may have a look at that turn 1 incident. I couldn't really tell if there was contact or not, but it sure seemed like it. unfortunate end to what otherwise was shaping up to be quite exciting. And bringing us home is incredible.
Wow, that was absolutely incredible.
All right. Let's have a look at the results officially. Nick in P1, Zero Fight P2, Midnight P3, Pedro P4. That's the Group 3 class. Then in the Group 4 class, we have CBD Driver, aka Diaz, in P1, Shred in P2, Delamere in P3, Incredible in P4. Looks like the fastest lap in Group 4 went to Delamere. Collard in P5 and Steven in P6, and unfortunately Alexander DQ'd about 5 minutes into the race, which is really unfortunate. But in any case, that was the final round of the TTRC World Endurance Championship. Next season, which is going to start next year, they are doing Group 3 and Group 1. They are retiring the Group 4 class. So that will be interesting. I will be on the broadcast for at least most of the races. I don't know about all of them, schedule pending, but we will get all the technical stuff sorted out, and Wayne, maybe you'll get to join me on a few of those as well, if the lobby size allows.
Be happy to. Be happy to if I'm not racing.
Yeah,
Group 1
well,
versus Group 3 sounds like fun to me.
True. Could very well be awesome, and if you're in there, I will certainly be making fun of you more than the other drivers, for sure. So
I would expect no less. I expect to feel the pain.
Well, I appreciate you joining me this time, and thank you to everyone out there who watched and chatted. We will be back next year with the TTRC World Endurance Championship Season 2, and until then, take care, everybody.